Let's talk about warrior hypnosis and mental persuasion, mental warfare secrets, and mind control. Does such a thing exist? Absolutely. Oh, absolutely it exists. Have you ever been deceived, misled, confused, manipulated? Certainly you have. We all have. That's mind control. Have you ever been so influenced by someone, like someone walks into a room and you're so impressed? Or have you ever been intimidated? That's mental warfare. I don't care if it's your mother-in-law. I don't care if it's your boss. I don't care if it's someone on the street or a beautiful, pretty lady and your mouth gets dry and your heart flutters. That's all mental warfare. Life is mental warfare. And everything is communication. You know, Bruce Lee said, when I punch, I am merely expressing myself. Everything is an expression of self, of what's inside you. He said, I'm merely expressing myself. I'm paraphrasing him. You can look it up. That's what he said. He understood. Everything is an expression of self. When you walk, when you stand, sit, your every gesture is communication. It is expression. Everything is. The rapist, the thug, the manipulator, the liar, everyone. Politicians, entertainers, everything is an expression of what's inside of you. So the first thing we need to do, if we're going to have mental control, mind control over others, is to first get control over ourself. Does that make sense? Have you ever heard it said that what profiteth the man if he gains the world but loses his own soul? Yeah, you see an executive or a millionaire or a movie star and you think they're so great, but they can't even hold a marriage together? Or you read about, these kids who were, their dad was a movie star or a rock and roll singer or a Fortune 500 CEO, and they hardly knew him. Don't lose yourself. Find yourself. Keep yourself. Know yourself. It's almost a tired old thing to be said, Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. Yet, we hear these things so often that we just disregard them. We take them for granted. We lose their value. To thine own self be true. If you master yourself, you can master the world and master others. Sun Tzu said it in The Art of War. And it really is true. So the first thing, if you want to mind control other people, if you want mental warfare secrets, if you want the ability to dominate others with just a gesture, you're going to have to learn how to control yourself. You're going to have to master yourself. That's the first step of the game. And you know what the wonderful thing is about that? That it's very simple. I mean, think about it. You've got you. The Buddha said there are no prisons. What were they saying? What did he mean by that? Because inside of you, inside of your mind, lays the answer to everything you could ever want. And it's absolutely true. There's that saying that without even leaving my room, I can travel around the world. It's all there within you. This isn't esoteric mumbo jumbo. We're going to give you the how in every manner. Self-mastery leads to mastery of others. If you hear some music in the background, don't worry about it. I like to have the music on in the background. Let's get down to business here. When you see an Olympic athlete or a racehorse win, you're seeing not just a little 5-minute race or a little demonstration or a little 1-hour competition or what have you. No, you're seeing years of training. You never see all the sweat that goes into that. All you see is the performance. The beautiful thing about mind control is that because it's mental, not physical, it certainly influences the physical, but it's not physical. The beautiful thing about it is that you can do it all of the time. All of life is training, and all of life is martial arts. When you adopt that worldview that all of life is martial arts, that puts you at an advantage over the rest of the population. All of life is martial arts. I mean, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a wonderful thing to know? Because the same approach one would take to master a martial art is the same approach you can take to master anything or anyone or any circumstance whatsoever. Your mind is always with you, and it is always training. Always training. And if you look at everything as training, then what you do is you get feedback. Everything becomes feedback. It is no longer, oh, I failed. Oh, he wouldn't buy it. Oh, she wouldn't do it. No. You look at it tactically. What can I learn from this? How can I get around this? And that is what being like water is all about. When he says, be like water, grasshopper. Remember Bruce Lee said, be like water. Water finds its way around or it can come crashing down. Water always goes where it wants to go. It always goes where it wants to go, doesn't it? Be like water, or you could surround and then freeze up and become ice and crush them. Being like water is not some esoteric thing. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of tactical application of your skills. And I'm going to give you the skills, the actual phrasing, the actual words that you can use. Does that make sense? I'll give it to you, but you've got to, first of all, start. The number one thing is the mindset. 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 Set your mind. Set your mind. Always training. Life is martial arts. Like Sun Tzu said, life is war. And you know, war can be fun. Yes, it can be painful, death, destruction, and doom, but it can also be fun. And the guy who makes fun of it, who actually enjoys it, he's the guy that owns it. He owns the field. It becomes your turf. You never want to fight the team on their turf, right? On home turf, they're strongest, right? When you control the ground, you control the battle. That's art of war. So the first ground, the first battleground, is your own mind. So if you can control that, then you can control others in anything. Now, I have a question that I want to ask you. And the answer to this question will tell you how to control anyone or anything, yourself and others. Many of my students have heard this question before. It's a trademark question of Andrew Scott's. And that question is, how do you stop a moving train? How do you stop a moving train? You see, everything that you want, or everyone that you want to do something for you, they're trains set in motion. People are like trains on a track. And once they get headed in a certain direction, they gain momentum, and it's difficult to get them to change direction. But I give you the key now on how to stop a moving train. This applies to mental warfare. This applies to mind control of other people. Listen carefully. How do you stop a moving train? That moving train might be a no. It might be an objection. It might be a no to your presentation or your offer. Think fluidly. Think fluidity with what I'm telling you. Say, how can I apply this? A moving train is anything that says no to you and doesn't do what you want. How do you stop a moving train? A moving train is anything you want. How do you stop? How do you take control of it? Well, first of all, you don't stand in front of it and oppose it, do you? No. You don't stand there with your hand up, because what's going to happen? You're going to get run over by that train. Correct? I mean, look at it as a real train. How would one stop a moving train? Would one stand in front of it? No. No, I disagree. No. Why not? Why don't you want to buy? No. No, you don't directly oppose it. How do you stop a moving train? Let's go back to Bruce Lee. The broken rhythm method. Asserting your own tempo. The train has a tempo, doesn't it? It's going down the track at a certain speed, isn't it? And if you stand in front of that train and hold your hand up and say, halt, you'll get run over. So what do? You harmonize with it. You run alongside of it. You run alongside of the train until you're up to its speed, and then you hop on. And then it is carrying you. Listen carefully, I'm giving you a formula now that can change your life. The train is now carrying you, isn't it? No more effort. You've harmonized with it. Then what do? You crawl up top of the train. You crawl up to the front cabin where the driver is, and you reach down and pull the brake. Reach down and knock out the driver and pull the brake. You've stopped the moving train, haven't you? You didn't do it by direct opposition. You did it by harmonizing with the train. That's very, very crucial. If you understand that, then you look at everything like a train, and you go, how do I stop it? You'll harmonize. Now, I'm going to break that down and just how to do that, but I've given you the formula. Bear that in mind as we carry on.